Right, so we're off today to go and visit Noamo, or as its proper name is Battery Lothringen, I think I pronounced that correctly. To meet up with Malcolm from COS. He's going to let us in the bits that you wouldn't normally see, and some of the bits you can go and see when the COS open it up in the summer. So that's where we're off to now. Thank you to Ethan for the camera that he's graciously given us to make the videos with. We'll be using that today, so thank you, Ethan. And right, let's get going. Right, so welcome back to Adventure 82. As I said, we're down at Normal Point filming all the different gun points down there called Battery Lothringen, I think I put it down the bottom of you. Anyway, we've out with Malcolm and Paul, who are just having a chat inside the bunker there for a minute. Eric is taking photos, but the first place we're going to look, if I move the camera, you can see there from the plaque, is inside the command bunker for here. This was actually done up by the COS, of which there is also a plaque for that over here. So if you want to read that, we'll need to pause the video. But that's Paul and Malcolm hiding. But we'll go inside and we'll have a look round. I normally stick you in the front. Just before we go down, I'll just show you guys this. You can actually come and visit here. It's a £5 to get in, kids go in free. It's open certain Sundays throughout the year, mostly in the summer. If you check the CIOS website, you can actually find out when they're open. They also tell you generally on their Facebook page as well. But right, we'll go down here. Just being told by Malcolm as we go down the stairs, the entrance we've come in through isn't the original one. Originally there was a wooden hut on top, and you used to come in through a hatch that had stairs, like rungs, like ladders. But that was removed and the door cut in after someone actually fell through the hole and down the stairs. And as you can see by these stairs, that's quite the fall, and they're not going to give any. There you go, you've got a gun point now. So this is all fully restored. There you go, see Battery Lothringen. This is the command post. This is what we're inside now. So you can see how many different rooms there are. I will show you all that. So I know there's some people who watch from France. Well, I don't know if there's anybody watching Germany. But I'll give you the different languages so you've got the key as well. But a lot of this was, all this was repaired by COS. This is how it was left when the Germans left. And there actually, there's your little wooden hut we were talking about that used to be on top. There you go. Now I've shown you the sign, better show you the gun. Shane will never forgive me if I don't show you the gun. I'll get a comment at the bottom saying, why did you show them the sign when you showed them the gun? So there you go. This actually works both ways. So if you look through there, you can catch people who are trying to hide. There you go. Another gun post here. Look at that. What's this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what it means.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Paul's sneaking up behind. He's actually trying to hide from the camera today. You can see the history of the bunker there. This is definitely worth coming and having a look for yourself. Right. We'll go through this way. Malcolm just opened the door for us. Right, can you tell me what the big grey thing is here? It's a rangefinder. It's massive. I never would have thought it'd be that big. Seriously. Okay, and then the little grey one. There's another little grey one here. And there's a smaller version of the rangefinder. So these would have been used here then. Wow.
That came out of HM2. Oh, right. I believe it was the one actually from in here.
Okay.
Yes, the arms also.
Okay, there you go. So this was actually found inside HO2, which we've already been in. This was found inside there, but it's believed to have originally been from here, which is why they brought it back. You've got some more equipment over here, actually, look. This would have been, I'm guessing, radio equipment. Because it was all communication based, this, so these guys were looking out for what to aim for, and then they gave orders up to the gun points, which is what the chart and everything would have been for. There you go, look. Channel Islands artillery batteries were in action no less than 55 occasions between 1941 and 1945. This whole area, not just the command post we're in now, which we're looking at, which is massively impressive. See, this table would have mimicked the chart you just saw on the wall. But yeah, the whole site, they started building it 1940 when they were over here, 1941. And it was all finished pretty much by the end of 1942. Gun point 2, which we'll look at when we go back up there, the location it's in now isn't the original one. It had a temporary location and they moved it to where it is now in 1942, but in 1941 it was actually in a different location, quite close to where I actually parked the car. So this is like a little model of the command bunker we're in now. You can see there the little wooden hut that would have been above the stairs there. And what they've done now is just at like the top of the stairs here is where they've dug in a door, which is where we came in now. And you've got a gun point there.
Levels and then one other.
Yeah.
So you could even decide which gun was to fire. The information will be sent to them from here through cables.
Okay.
Tell them what degree and angle to point the gun.
That's
and
cool.
then if they wanted number one gun to fire, press the top lever, but if they wanted all four to fire, press the single one below the four.
Right, okay. So we're all in communication with each other by radio at all times then?
Like telephone.
Telephone, like,
yes.
Like field telephone?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
so
that's
they
cool.
had headset telephones over the wall at the gun. And
Okay.
In here originally all the flooring upstairs was covered in wood like you see it, and then carpets, because the soldiers in here would have to do the sums for how wind, humidity, etc. would affect the shells in their heads, so they wanted silence.
Right.
So they weren't disturbed by somebody stomping around in their jackboots.
Fair enough.
So they were also allowed to wear slippers when in here, and the wood was covered in carpets as well. So to dull the sound, which brought about post-war rumours about like a lavish carpeted palace at the Armour, which was correct. There were carpets in here, but they were here for practical reason.
Yeah, it's the same as like, there was rumours, wasn't there, about the water covering that they did in Warren Farm. A lot of people were saying it was meant to be a torpedo ramp to launch things at the UK and stuff.
V1 or V2 is another
yeah.
one. But it was just take the stream, stop the brook flooding the valley.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, because obviously burying it in spoil.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
It's fair enough.
Like where you see those two concrete recesses in the
Which
floor.
ones?
There. See them in the middle of the floor. Two concreted up little strips.
Yeah, I see that, yeah.
And then there's a recess on the right, just before the wall goes in, and one on the left by the door with the red cross.
Yeah.
Originally there was a massive wooden partition.
Right.
And then a door on each end of where, like a corridor coming in with the two strips on the floor on that.
Yeah.
So the soldiers moving up and down from the crew quarters downstairs or using the ablutions or showers on the right. The sound of them doing that would not disturb the soldiers in here because of the wooden partition.
Right, okay.
So I think they open one door, come through the wooden little corridor, and then into here itself. So
Okay.
it was a self-contained unit which obviously silence was pretty key.
Yeah.
Soldiers trying to work out all these complex sums in their heads.
I was going to say, yeah, because
Sort
there
of
wasn't really calculators and stuff then,
Yeah,
was it?
we thought about putting it back, but it would spoil the look of the size of the room, so we haven't bothered.
That's fair enough. You can see the German on the wall, take it, a lot of that's original as well, is it? The writing on the wall, is it?
No, those have been done by one of our members. They weren't here originally. They are
Okay.
sort of generic bunkers, but you don't normally see them in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
It is historically inaccurate, unfortunately.
And our friend over here, why is he in white?
He's wearing fatigues, which is basically like overalls.
Right.
For soldiers, so they wouldn't wear their normal uniform and field blouse for sort of mucky jobs because it might get spoiled or torn. So they had those which were white denim fatigues as to wear to do maintenance and general tasks. There's a photo just behind him on the wall shows soldiers on his head and lined up for inspection, and most of them are wearing white denim fatigues.
And the shells, I take it, that surrounding are the ones that would have been fired at the guns here?
Yes, the guns here were the only ones locally, apart from the 88 flat gun, which could fire star shells for night illumination.
Yeah, because they were flak ones here, but they weren't 88s, were they?
No, they were 2 centimetre
Yeah.
flat. The shell on the left, the yellow one, is a high explosive shell.
Right.
And the one on the right is a star shell, or illumination shell. So the bottom of the one on the right will blow out after a certain amount of time.
Right.
And a magnesium, I think it was, flare on a parachute would be pushed out and ignited. I think it illuminated for about 5 or 6 minutes. It's quite a long time. Obviously, if you're on a boat on the sea, it'd be lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'd be like when they, in the old days, you used to light the fireworks on barges. If the barge went up, would have like that kind of thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, same thing.
Wow.
I don't think these guns here have any actual armor piercing shells or that. It was just like explosive star shells.
I know they were fired, but it was only ever like test fires, wasn't it?
No, they fired in anger a few times.
Did they?
Yeah, if ships got close enough. There's a panel up on the wall just to the right of the girders, where we know for sure this battery was in action, but there was other times as well.
Okay.
It's not recorded if they actually sunk any ships. It's doubtful.
Yeah.
They might have caused damage to them.
And this stuff was all found, is this all part of this bunker, all this stuff that you guys have just found from various bunkers around the island?
Yeah, most of the stuff in the cabinets is in relation to this site. There's a uniform of Kriegsmarine Coast Artillery soldier there, which is what they would have worn here.
That's this grey one?
Yeah.
Alright. That's quite cool. And then you've got a blue one, which case is that a higher ranking?
Sailor.
Sailor.
Which the battery here was manned by the Kriegsmarine, which were Navy.
Yeah, because that's where the battery got its name from as well, isn't it? It was named after the boats.
Yes, the boat Lothringen.
Hitler had a thing for that. There was quite a few that he named after boats and things, wasn't there? Different bunkers and...
Yeah, or after famous like U-boat aces or fighter aces. Normally famous generals, all that, they took their names from. The picture there, Theo Kraus, and he was a crew member of this bunker.
Yeah, this gentleman that we've got a plaque for over there as well,
Yes.
I noticed, yeah.
The book behind was done by, instigated by the gentleman you can see in the photo just above.
Right.
He set up like a comrade's house nearby, so the battery soldiers who were normally here 24/7, they could have several days away in a private house. They would actually be waited on by other soldiers who would bring them their food and that, but there was like games provided and instruments and stuff. It just gave them a break from the constant drudgery of being stuck on a battery.
Yeah, so I know that Paul was saying to me as well that quite a lot of the bunkers would be, they put like wooden lining and sometimes in them as well to make them feel a bit more homely and less like they were in like
Yes.
the lump of concrete essentially,
Yeah,
which
it's
is what it
normally done
was.
as well, stop with condensation in the crew room. But if you go bunkers as well, like the entrance defence or gun rooms are normally lined in TNG panelling, that's
Yeah.
so if any small arms or shrapnel got into the room, it would embed into the panelling.
Right,
And
okay.
make a show.
These ones, by the way, these are all books you can get from CIOS.
Yes.
And there's some other ones as well, if you look at them up on their website
Yeah,
again.
on their website, all that.
This is the one that I've got at home actually. This is the one that I told you about the HO tunnels, this one.
Yeah, there was an earlier one in red.
That's the one Paul lent me. That's
Yeah,
the one that's
which
got
is
the map of
the
Deflinger in it.
Yes.
Yep.
That was sort of a later version, which just concentrated on Jersey, and then Guernsey did their own one, which covers Guernsey, Lothringen, tunnels and Sark.
Yeah, because Alderney's got quite an extensive amount as well, hasn't it? For considering how much smaller it is as well.
Yes. You can go into all of them, I think, still. Sort of a couple of them near the town are very dangerous, actually. But yeah, Two of them are cut into like the island. A lot of the island is sandstone,
Right.
rather than granite or that. And two of the tunnels are cut in the sandstone, and they're perfectly safe. No rock falls in them at all, really.
This was the original partition, this wooden one that was in front of us.
Yes, there's a solid partition between the rooms. The room on the left is for telephone, and it has a telephone exchange. The room on the right is the radio room.
Yeah, because you seem to have a friend in that one on the right.
There's a sailor.
So he's wearing similar to what the outfit was we just saw in the case there, the navy blue one.
Has a rank insignia on his left arm, which is a V. I think it's open with fighter, I'm not sure what it is. Exactly, above it is a shell with wings, which is a sign for coastal artillery.
Oh, that's cool. And then this one would have been just normal communication on the left, would it, rather than communicating with like directions and things?
Yeah, telephone communication, so we're connected to the other guns. It could connect various headquarters. There's in the book Paul Bernal did about Noir adventures in there. A gentleman came down after liberation. There was a list on the door of that room with all phone numbers, which included a lot of local places, including like the underground hospital was a casualty receiving station, but also mentioned various places in Guernsey and that, because the battery here was part of the Marine Artillery Battalion 604, I think, and its HQ was in Guernsey. And there was other batteries in Guernsey and Alderney, which were part of the same battalion.
Wow.
So this was the only one in Jersey.
So it's quite a big battalion, the one that was in charge here then?
Yes. I think it was 604. Some thing. Yeah, it was 604.
Yeah.
So yeah, Guernsey had several batteries manned by the same crews as here. And there was two, I think, in Alderney. The troops, some of the soldiers here did rotate with the battery and Fort Albert and Alderney for several months.
Right.
It was only done once, I think, because it was, firstly, the troops here hated being in Alderney. It's a civilian population, so it was very boring.
Right.
And secondly, as well, the upheaval of moving soldiers between islands and the risks of being attacked on the boats, and that, I think they realised it was just too much hassle.
Okay.
So they didn't bother.
Well, I think it used to be something similar to this, unless I'm going insane. In what was used to be called the German Underground Hospital. And there used to be a bloke sat there kind of holding his arm with a bandage on it. And that's all gone now, isn't it?
Yeah, they got like the room next to the operating theatre with some beds in.
Yeah.
They're well spaced out. There's a Red Cross nurse. The nurses would have been there, but they wouldn't be stationed there. But all the Red Cross nurses on the island who man the soldiers' homes, they would be part of their standing orders was if you went to alarm state 1 with red, which is like combat is expected imminently.
Yeah.
They'd have to report to various casualty receiving stations around the island, including HO8, which was one of them.
That's quite cool.
The man them ready to deal with casualties coming in, sort of thing. Most positions seem to have every bunker would be provided with a standard first aid. The van gas and like.
Right. Yeah. So they would have had this burning all the time then? Like, say, for instance, in the winter?
If they had the fuel, yes.
Yeah, because towards like the end of the war, they were running low on fuel and food and everything else, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
And like Paul mentioned in one of the other videos as well, is that the islanders weren't allowed to share their rations with the Germans either.
No. Some did though. The Germans pretty well to come around. 0.4 cubic metres of air a minute each.
Right, so this would have supplied a clean air supply to the...
Yes, the two pumps on the right each put in 10 cubic metres of air a minute.
Right.
They don't actually filter the air. You can imagine with 30 odd soldiers in here, they'd be run fairly regularly to aerate the place.
I take it if there was ever gas or anything, it would have filtered that out as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also a fitment for a heat exchanger, which we haven't been able to put back out the fireman on, but basically it works like a car radiator.
Where's that?
So it should have been over there, you see the bracket.
Yeah, in the indentation in the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be fed by the central heating system, so that the warm water would travel through it as the cold air was brought in.
Yeah.
The air will be heated by the water running through, so the air will be heated coming into here as well.
Okay, so it's a bit like a very early kind of air conditioning system.
Basically, yes.
That's quite clever. The Germans are very good at ingenuity though, weren't they?
They are, yes. All the pipework's been put back into this room. The original was all removed for scrap after the war.
More writing there, look. We have, wow, looks like someone's sleeping quarters and a map. Someone's in meeting here by the looks of it. Malcolm's giving us plenty of information, as you can see. Which is pretty cool. Right, so that's a sleeping room.
That was for the officers.
Only for officers, was it?
Yeah, that was officer. The next one is NCO, and the one in the middle is for the other ranks.
Right, so this is NCO.
Shows
Oh look, he's got a radiogram. Oh sorry, a gramophone. She's playing his music here. You can see there would have been 6 men in here, so you got 3 beds there. 3 beds there. You know, a gentleman here who revisited the island. You can see he slept on the top bunk there. He came and visited the COS, I think it was in the 90s, 2011 actually, as I've seen on the sign there. And showed them where he was in this bunker and those bits and pieces. But this is, so this would have been NCO, next door would have been the officers, the one you've just seen. And then, next door here would have been just the regular soldiers. You see they don't get quite the same comforts. They get your standard kind of beds. When you see the bed sections, as I point out to you, like in Battery Derflinger, where I said that the hooks were the fixings on the wall meant that they must have had beds in here. This is the kind of beds they would have had. So what they would have done is they would have slept in the bed, got up in the morning, they would have unhooked these chains from the hooks at the top, and the beds would have folded flat down, and would have left it like that for the rest of the day, and then set them back up at night when they came to go to bed. You can see they even used to eat in here. There's their, what would have been their eating table. They've got, if I just pan over here slightly, piano there for their entertainment in the evening, play some music. They've got some basic wardrobes, some lighting obviously. We'll move past the mannequins. And you can see here, these are people who are actually soldiers who worked in Battery Lothringen. So if you want to have a good look at these, do feel free to pause it. But whilst I'm doing this, I do want to say again, you know, massive thank you to Malcolm, and actually to Shane, who put me in touch with Malcolm. But yeah, all these guys worked in the battery. One of them is hidden behind our mannequin friend here, so I shall just move him. There you go. So pretty basic accommodation for the soldiers. They weren't that much better off. You can see here you would have had more, no, probably another 9 beds in this corner. You can see the hooks again in the ceiling, see? So you would have had 18 men in here, 6 next door in the NCO's room. So that's, what's that, 18? Ooh, my maths is bad today. That's 24. And then the officers, you're looking about between 26 and 40, thus 30 men in here. You can see they've got a painting there that's been there for some time. It's actually cracked. Example of bunker wall decorations. This is the kind of thing they would do, because obviously they couldn't have actual pictures hung up in the bunkers. So stuff like this, being able to paint the wall like it is there blue, would just help it make it feel a bit more like home, and not so much like they're just in a lump of concrete under the ground. Make it more bearable essentially. So this would have been their food storage. And a typewriter there. I'm not sure what the typewriter was used for. I'm guessing writing letters off to, I don't know, maybe other command posts. Another sign there. Actually, let me check with Malcolm. What would they have used the typewriter for?
To write up documents or whatever, or reports, stuff like that.
Also, like the official reports and things. So they would have had to type up like official reports and
Yeah,
things.
they would have to keep daily logs, phone records, all that sort of stuff. So some of it would be typed out.
How many men were in?
Books saying where soldiers have moved, what phone calls have been, what officers have visited the battery. They have to do regular line checks every day, twice a day I think it was, and then that would be recorded. They spoke to whoever, and the correct password was given back.
Right, and their food.
Was very strictly military.
Okay, and their food would have been stored in here as well.
I don't know for sure. The way one member used to, others to set it up. So.
Right, okay.
There is, where you see the recess on the right, that is designed for a safe. But you see one in there now?
Yeah.
Apparently, the sailors' pay would be kept here.
Right.
Their pay wasn't that much, but obviously, because they obviously had lodgings, uniforms, food, all given them for free, but they did get paid.
Yeah.
And reissued to them here.
So how many men did they have then in here at one time?
This is bedroom, this one, isn't it? It's a bedroom.
Right. Well, yeah, it's got the hooks in the ceiling, so possibly.
And then someone's converted that, they've put the what,
it's about 33, I think.
That's 33.
Yeah, that's been put in by Mark Garnier.
That whole metal part shouldn't be there, should it?
No, it didn't.
Right, so I'm going to leave you with these shots I took of the periscope. I for some reason shot you in silence. I forgot to tell you what it was. So there you go, me being a plonker as usual. But yeah, thank you to Malcolm and Paul for taking us around. There was another part we did this day, which will be coming out in part 2. I didn't get to do the gun points with Malcolm and Paul, so we'll be meeting up again probably in the next few weeks as I'm editing this. To finish off filming up Noirmore. There will be more bunkers like this from the COS coming video wise, as Malcolm's offered to take me around the other CIOS sites as well, which is very kind of him, so that's much appreciated. Thank you for all that, Malcolm. But for now, yep, I'll leave you with these parting shots, and if you'd be so kind as to comment or subscribe, that'd be brilliant. Just to let you know again, it's the last time I'm going to mention it, we're now on Patreon, so if you would like to support the channel, it starts I think about £5, and help us go and film the other bunkers for you guys out in Alderney, Guernsey, maybe even further afield onto the mainland of Europe possibly. Do feel free to do that. There are perks for you, such as unseen sections of video, extra photographs, etc. So if you would like to have a look at that, that's brilliant. If you don't, just the fact that you're watching is more than enough, and it's hugely appreciated. But until then, I'll see you guys in part 2.